I'm a writer in residence here in Brighton. I am a writer, a poet, a lecturer at the University of Gdańsk in the English and American Studies department. I've been working here on various presentations, but other than that, I arrived with an idea to write the middle part of what could become a short book, the part to follow the story. It's been a pleasure to discover that here in Brighton we find quite a lively community of writers and thinkers. Well, I translate either from Polish to English or from English to Polish. I had a phase in my life that I wrote in English exclusively when I lived in Oakland, California. So I have some interesting observations, but maybe particular to me specifically. I discovered that when I rewrite a story into English, I feel an urge to add emotions. So, and the reason might be that I was raised in a manner so as to hide emotions, or I received this message directly or indirectly that it was better, safer, or whatever, more dignified perhaps to hide your emotions. So it is, all of a sudden it is English, the second language obviously, that demands that I actually add emotions to my characters' thought processing, development. So it doesn't have to be that bare. The other way, when it is from English to Polish, actually emotions stay. I don't remove them. It can be just English as an abstract concept. Do you understand that I learned English in the United States, where perhaps people, on the one hand, perhaps are freer with expressing themselves, because here in the continent we learn first and at most to be uptight, and both on the continent and in Britain, right? So, and then of course all the psychological, new agey self-exploration phase that I went through already in the 90s might have contributed to that as well. But still, I remember learning how to name my emotions in English, not in Polish. And this part was actually missing from my Polish education for whatever reason. Karen Kovacik and I are friends, and we actually worked on this translation together. I mean, she worked in close proximity with me. So it wasn't like, oh, here is this alien person and here I'm reading this alien poem. This poem is actually part of me, and I probably know it better in English than in Polish. So the subject of the poem is not actually about being an immigrant, literary an immigrant in a foreign country such as, or a foreign city such as New York, for instance, or San Francisco or any other place. It is more about being a woman in a culture that is not designed to welcome us. And the immigrant sacrifices that the poem talks about are all the tiny stepping aside kind of movements that we have to make in order to reprocess through the culture, the system that has not been designed for us. Madame Intuita. Całe życie jak nauka second language. Kupa emigracyjnych wyrzeczeń, a w końcu nie udało się nigdy pozbyć akcentu. Rozpoznawano go ku memu oburzeniu. Czułam się wszak zasymilowana jak należy. Zatem tyle wysiłku na nic. Tak zniechęcona, w tajemnicy przed sobą, zaczęłam lekcję konwersacji, ulotnej mowy. W niej też mówię z akcentem silniejszym nawet. Gubię nitki i związki. To nieuniknione. Mógłby nazywać się macierzysty, ale ja nie mam matki, a trochę bajek i mitów. Taniec rozkojarzonej kobiety na linie, któremu przyglądasz się, czy spadnie, czy się czego chwyci. Odnotowana pamięć temperamentalnych ataków i ich kresu nieszczególnie zachęca do biegłości. Nieodzyskany, znany język jest jak woda. Przelewa się w palcach znów za chwilę pustych i zroszonych. Daje posmak kryształowej przyjemności, podczas gdy jak poeta wczesnego renesansu ceni rozwiniętą w strukturę łaciny, jej chlubną i logiczną zwartość. W retorycznych konkursach daje mi przewagę język warstw wykształconych. Tylko brak rozwagi odwraca się od tej najsłuszniejszej z zasad, iż pochodzenie nad wyraz niepewne należy wymazać gorliwą nauką, chociaż nie zniknie nigdy. Z niepewności nie mówię wcale, jedynie słucham, wychwytuję dźwięki. Strumień w górach, spadając w dół głazów, gubi się jak urwany puls, jak rytm, jak echo, jak chochlik. Tu jestem, a tu znikam. Zanim się zdążę zaśmiać, wchodzę po kolana w warstwy bólu i szkody. Co z nimi zrobić? Innym razem natrafiam na fragmenty listów, urwane opowieści. Wtedy wiążę nitki, oczyszczam pędzelkiem ciągłości rysunku, patrzę tylko, jestem szczęśliwa, nie mówię nic. Nie chcąc nawet oddechem spłoszyć stojącej na skraju drogi na pół kobiecej, na pół zwierzęcej postaci. Czy kiedy się odwrócę i spojrzę tam znowu, zastanę choćby cień jej małych kopyt? Madame Intuita. My whole life's like learning a second language. So many immigrant sacrifices, and in the end, I can't get rid of this accent, recognized everywhere to my dismay. And I've been feeling quite assimilated, all that effort, and for what? Discouraged without wanting to admit it, I enroll in a class of heightened conversation. There, I also speak with an accent, even thicker. Sometimes I lose whole threads or connections. I guess it can be helped. You can call this a mother tongue, but I don't have a mother, only a handful of old wives' tales and myths. Watch the distracted woman dancing on a tightrope. Will she fall? Will she find something to grab onto? The careful charting of her shifts in mood doesn't exactly encourage fluency. That other language, elusive yet familiar, is like water. Slips through my fingers, now empty again, but for a trace of dampness, an aftertaste of crystalline pleasure. Like an early Renaissance poet, I savor the elaborate undergirding of Latin, with its praiseworthy logic and concision. Despite efforts to blot out that passionate study, it will never fully disappear. The language of the educated classes gives me an edge in rhetorical contests, but in the heat of the moment, I lose sight of its sensible rules. The origins of words grow uncertain. Unsure of myself, I stop speaking altogether and just listen to the cascade of sounds. A mountain stream spilling onto a valley of rocks, which disappears like a shaky pulse, an echo, a gnome. Now you hear me, Now you don't. And before I'm able to laugh, I have to wade through layers of hurt and shame. How to cope? Elsewhere, I come upon fragments of letters, stories broken off. I tie up those loose ends, restore lines with my brush. I'm content. I only look. I don't say a thing. Don't dare to breathe, even so as not to frighten this roadside creature, half woman, half beast. When I turn around and look that way again, will I find at least a print from her tiny hoof?